how it works. It's testing streaming right now.
So,
Okay, is someone else? Alex? Hey. Cynthia would be great. Or a student, whichever. We need someone back. Okay. All right. Can you do that right now? We're getting ready to go live. And
remember, this is a hot mic.
we need this fan off. So you're up.
That's not really affecting that much.
Okay. Oh, and you're going to text me with a go, no go, right? Are we live?
Are we good?
I'm just waiting for Christian. Waiting for Christian, Springfield.
Yeah. That's good.
Just turned off.
Some of the mics are working. I don't know which ones. Do we know? We know that Wayne's because there's no mic in there. There's not a convey that. Okay, at least Wayne's right. And so, we know that it's like
This year is incredibly cool because this is a kickoff that I hope you guys will enjoy. That's like no other. Deb and I, actually, we have to say that we did very, very little work overall because this is a student-centered production where we're inviting the students, the superstars of Massachusetts, to take center stage. So last year, we started out with our kickoff at Needham. This year, as you know, we are at Weston here, so how about a big hand for Weston Community School? Boston Tech Initiative with our founder, Lou Shin. Are you here in the crowd anywhere? Hi, Shin. Our founder and our visionary helped us to set out these goals, where we would spread this out through this great state that covers a lot of territory that we can't possibly have. So we said for those teams that are are going to be on the western side of the stage, and we add another kickoff, and we try to increase the equity and access to first and second challenge teams. So, Western Union University is tuning in on the stream. Thank you guys for going out to that kickoff. Woo. Additionally, we have another site, Braintree. Sorry guys about that mic issue, that's on me. That is with the Archbishop Williams High School, and you guys might know them from competing. So they're hosting another kickoff. We were streaming a lot of our workshops back and forth all across the state, which is incredibly cool. It's on our website too. We have some archives. Did you guys have fun this morning at the kickoff workshops? I want to give a big thanks to all the teams that helped put them on. We're going to recap in just a little bit. But again, for our kickoff partners, thank you for helping us make this all happen. We're going to invite you guys to help think about and brainstorm ideas too, and join us in taking center stage. So, Carrie, if you can go to the next slide. Before we get started, we'd like to acknowledge our kickoff partners and our season sponsors. So, Air Rocket Works. How many of you guys went and built a rocket today? Check that out. You're going to hear more from Keith and Sean Violet after our production's over at 1 o'clock. We're going to invite you outside to shoot some more rockets. AJC Productions. Alex, are you still in the room? So Alex's mother's a teacher. He's an engineer. He does a construction company and does media production. Is going to be helping us throughout the season. We couldn't do this without the Weston Media Center, who is filming this. They're professionals. You guys are absolutely awesome. I need to give a shout out to Colin, formerly an alum of Wolfpack Machina, who is now staying on as an intern. He's at WPI now, if you want to learn about that school. Colin is serving as kind of our tech guru. He's teaching myself all about streaming, about OBS and other things to make this possible. We could not do this without you. So thank you. His roommate is also from a San Diego team that's here as well. And he's busy working away for you guys. Andy Mark, Go Builda. We have a new partner called Studica, if you haven't heard about them. Pittsco Education. Andy Mark and Studica, if we're going to highlight them real quick. Andy Mark has a new build system too that they're introducing called Robits. Studica is similar to some of our other partners with the bolt systems bolt patterns that you guys might be familiar with. So thank you to all of our sponsors. Schneider Electric is one way you see a banner there. They've been longtime sponsors of the Andover Robotics High School program, but we are hoping that we're in discussions to get them further engaged in mentoring and doing all sorts of cool stuff, because they not only sponsor First Tech Challenge teams, but in other states, they have other first involvement as well, and they're looking to expand it. So Schneider Electric, we greatly thank you and welcome you for joining us this season. You guys don't want to hear from me the entire time, because I'm the least interesting person here. However, it is my pleasure to introduce you to someone very special. She was one of the members of GNCE Diamond, the second Weston High School FTC team. During the day, she masquerades as a billionaire philanthropist, but at night she can be seen around driving her black Tesla Batmobile. Some say that she can speak fluent Narwhal. And her teammates swear this is a true thing, that she is a space chicken wrangler. I don't know what that means, but no one knows what it means. It's provocative. It gets people going, apparently. And I want to know what this is. I think we need to showcase her space chicken wrangling thing at a talent show, maybe? So please help me in inviting your MC, the hostess with the mostest, Miss Eva Odio.
The rumors are true, everyone. I am Batman, as you can see.
I like it. That's pretty sweet. I'm kind of envious.
Guys, I'm so excited to be here. I hope you all are as excited as I am. Are you guys ready to see this new field? Yeah!
Ta-da! Oh, that's not it? Missed you. So, Eva, there was a lot of cool things that happened this morning. You and your fellow teammates, as well as collaborating teams, like those at the Windsor School and Andover Robotics Club, put some cool stuff together. But let's talk about workshops. What happened this morning? Because I tried to say hi to some of you guys, but we were kind of running around. So can you tell us about some of these things that happened this morning? And then we are going to then introduce and get some of these guys just hyped up, but shortly.
Yeah, totally. Guys, I had a blast this morning. It was great. You guys all ran some super cool workshops. Like, I didn't expect so many workshops, and all of them, I didn't get to see all of them. Sadly, you can't do all of them at once. But I had some personal favorites. Air Rocket Works seemed pretty cool. And we had Spike Ball, which went a little awry. We did play with wiffle balls, so.
And we thank you guys for doing that. So, Evo, how many years have you been in First Tech Challenge?
This is actually my second year. So I was a rookie last year, which I think is kind of a special role within the FIRST community. The rookies, the newbies. So I want to recognize the rookies here today. If you are on a rookie team, or if you're on a veteran team and it's your first year, please stand up. Let's see how many rookies we have. Yeah.
If you guys are at one of our affiliate kickoffs at Springfield and Braintree and you're a rookie, thank you. Shout out to Miss Katie Healy from the Canton Robotics teams for running our rookie workshops as well. Additionally, if this is going to be your last year competing as a senior, could you please take a moment and stand so that we can acknowledge you guys? Remember that first is your starting point. We can't wait to see all the places you will go. Your stories are just beginning, and we hope you share them back with the rest of our community, and we hope to celebrate your achievements moving forward. So, now we talked about the past, the future. I know we're bouncing all around. It's like Back to the Future stuff, right? So, last year we ran 10 qualifier events, state championship, and we sent not one, not two, but 4 teams to the World Championship. But I think the bigger story is how it wasn't those teams that just competed. It's what they learned from all of you guys and where we go to celebrate them, cheer them on, build together as a community. So thanks to GNCE, you and your teammates have put together a lovely championship recap video, right?
Yes, my very talented teammates have put together this awesome video. You guys are going to love it. So without further ado.
The Galactic Narwhal Chicken Effect.
The Tech Tigers.
Team 18438, Wolfpack Machina.
Team 8644, the Brainstormers.
I used to rule the world. Seas would rise when I gave the word. Now in the morning I sleep.
Okay, let's get this started in 3, 2, 1, go!
That was pretty cool because what happened is Wolfpack Machina, their robot, was able to use its programming to figure out where it was and continue scoring even after that collision.
8644 Barnstormers on Brainstormers on the front side of the field, scoring 4 times by the time I could say Brainstormers.
Galactic Narwhal Chicken Effect. The ability of their robot to stretch that far out makes it so they don't have to move at all.
Period. The Tech Tigers over here for the Red Alliance extending their claw into the substation. They have possession of a cone. We'll see what they can do with it.
The most amazing thing about Worlds is being able to meet with other teams from across the globe. Whether in the convention center or at the Texas-shaped pool, teams from all over the world were able to connect over our shared love for robotics. Going to Worlds was a collective effort of the Mass FTC community because of the things we've learned from each other throughout the season. From competitions, scrimmages, and doing fun activities together.
Let's match in 3, 2, 1, go!
We're proud to represent Massachusetts FTC at the international level.
Mission
As we continue to build and grow Mass FTC, we would love to open our arms to the entire STEAM community and invite everyone to take center stage.
Thank you so much for watching this amazing video our team put together. We're so excited about it. We're so excited you're all here. I'm about to introduce someone really, really cool, but before I do, I quickly have a few shout outs for the community. I need to thank Ftc, the administration, and the Weston Town community for all the support throughout all 7 years of robotics. You've allowed us to grow, to make the new robotics lab that some of you may have toured this morning. So nothing is possible without them. Thank you. And now, without further ado, I introduce Dr. Karen Zaleski. She's our new superintendent, here to welcome you to Weston.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I am the new interim superintendent in Weston. So I have to tell you a story. I started here in July, and I've been walking through the buildings. I've been meeting everybody, and this past week, actually a couple of weeks, I've been going around the classrooms, and I happened to pop into the robotics. And the students all ran up to me, introduced themselves, and said, "Oh my gosh, you have to see all the cool stuff we're doing." And it just got me so excited for the year. And they said, "Will you come this Saturday and speak?" I said, "Of course I will." I am so excited to be here. Seeing all the talent in this room, all the folks here, the students here from Massachusetts participating, I have to tell you, I'm so proud of all of you. I hear from the presentation, we have rookies in the audience, we have veterans in the audience, and together, we're going to come together as a community for Massachusetts and be the best that we can be this year. So let's give a round of applause for all your hard work and all the hard work you're going to do. And then I also want to thank all of the coaches, the teachers, the parent volunteers, the coaches, the community partners, because without them, we wouldn't be here today. And everybody that's helped put this on, forgive me, I don't know everybody's name yet, but thank you so much. So let's give a round of applause for those folks too. And our goal this year is to get everybody to world champions. So in the spirit of that, let's say world champions. Let's do it. World champions. All right, have a great rest of the day. Thank you so much for having me here today.
They play such a key role in making all of this possible. Like, this is a school, like, you know, without them, we wouldn't be here. This wouldn't have been organized, and their support is really everything. And now, I get to introduce to you someone super, super cool. Everybody, please welcome Matt Siegel. Matt Siegel joined BTi this summer as the new workshop director. And Matt comes with over 5 years of classroom experience as a STEM educator. He holds teaching licenses in both middle school mathematics and general science. And he's a pro at Connect 4. For the past 2 summers, Matt has written curriculum for and taught LEGO robotics courses to students from 2nd to 8th grade. This past summer, Matt directed the new BTi Builders LEGO robotics workshop at our Cambridge offices, and we are so excited to introduce him to you to share more about BTi's next steps in the world of robotics. Everybody please give Matt a hand.
All right, thank you. Well, I'm really excited to be here. This is actually my first event. And I'm also here to tell you a little bit about a Boston Tech initiative. So, a lot of that today. A lot of you may already be familiar with BTi, but if you are a rookie or an attendee for one of these events for the first time, I'm here to tell you a little bit about who we are and where we're going. Let's go ahead and do the next slide. So who we are and why we care. This is our team. We come from a variety of backgrounds, from venture capital firms to national robotics programs to, like me, classroom educators. Although we have a variety of backgrounds, we unite around a shared vision of delivering outstanding world-class robotics programming. And we are really excited to expand on that and tell you a little bit about our roadmap and next steps for the future. For the past 2 years, you've known Boston Tech Initiative as the program delivery partner for FTC. This past summer, Boston Tech Initiative expanded to run middle school programming, First LEGO League. Raise your hand real quick if you're familiar with First LEGO League. Keep that hand up if you were on a First LEGO League team. Okay, so still, looking around the room, there's a lot of folks in here who benefited from that type of programming and eventually got here. Well, our goal is to get our youngest engineers, our youngest learners through the pipeline, to strengthen that pipeline, to make it to FTC, FRC teams, so that they can be like the many role models in this room, the amazing teams that we saw in this video that are watching and that are right here sitting in the seats right now. Next slide, please. Our philosophy: the only real mistake is the one from which we learn nothing. Just like FIRST, we completely align with the conviction that failure is an essential part of the learning process. When you get back down, you get back up, you're building the musculature of resilience, the mindset of a champion. It's what makes us stronger. It's at the core of our ideology. And as I understand it, it completely aligns with First Tech Challenge. So we're really excited to be promoting that as part of our philosophy. So what are we actually doing? We're offering 3 things. We are opening a community STEM center, and we are really excited to be providing wonderful courses. On the left side here, you can see the BTi Builders LEGO Robotics program we ran this summer with real students looking at real robotics. If you were in the cafeteria earlier, you might have seen us playing with them a little bit, seen some of our younger learners. They're wearing some green shirts. Can you wave, BTi Builders? Woo! Thank you so much for coming by this summer, and we're really excited to be building out this program. Frankly, building leadership skills through robotic skills, through coding, and through design thinking. We are especially excited to be partnering with the world-renowned MIT BeaverWorks program. This is a program that we are adapting to the middle school level, where folks can learn how to navigate a mini race car through a complex environment using Python coding languages, and a lot of different cool technology. This summer, I had a chance to go to MIT and see this. If you're interested in some of this MIT programming, please talk to us afterwards. We're really privileged to partner with MIT-affiliated staff and students to deliver these materials and this exceptional program. Next, please. The second prong is our machine shop. We know that space for all sorts of robotics programs, whether that's FLL, FTC, FRC especially, space and resources is not equally distributed, and it can be really difficult to get access. So we are thrilled to be offering not just the power tools, the basic machines, but also 3D printers, laser cutters, and you might recognize that photo from the James Webb release. It's space. So that's a pretty hot commodity. The last prong of our new community STEM center is a hub. This is a space where you can sit down and maybe get some work done, a private space to take a phone call if you're a parent or a mentor, or a place to go to First Robotics office hours if you're a student. Whether you're dropping off a child for a course, for one of our middle school courses, or you're coming for the machine shop, or to meet with a mentor, our goal is to provide a productive learning environment and an inspiring robotics community, and we're really excited for you all to be a part of that. Our new space, where is it? I put some landmarks on here. Many of you probably already know where Harvard Square is. You might also know where Fresh Pond or Alewife Station is. We are right between Harvard Square and Alewife Station. We're located by the beautiful, verdant Danahy Park. It's a really cool reclaimed forest built on an old landfill. We're also right next to Fresh Ponds. That's a great landmark if you're in the Belmont, Arlington area. And we are going to be located with great parking right there, offering these services. We are absolutely thrilled to be doing it. And later this year, we'll have a social in our space, so please keep an eye out for that. Last slide, please. Thank you very much for listening. I've highlighted a couple of our teaching assistants this summer who joined us from the Tech Tigers. Thank you, Govind and Sava. Thank you, Izzy, from our First Robotics team. And as you can see, there are some students in action making this happen. If you are interested in robotics, BTi Builders is the place to be. Please come talk to me afterwards. I'll be in the cafeteria by our table. Thank you very much, everyone.
How about a big hand for what we're doing here with BTi Builders and the new STEM Center? We hope you guys access it. Again, Matt, thank you for all that you and the interns did over the summer to get the BTi Builders workshops off the ground. It's really, really cool and very inspiring. So if you guys have younger siblings in the community, friends and families that might be of FLL age that might be interested, reach out, find information about BTi Builders on our Boston Tech Initiative website. So we talked about some of you guys building some air rockets this morning. Let me tell you the connection. So Sean and Keith Violet, I met Keith while working at DECA Research and Development on the DARPA DECA Luke Arm project, right? He's one of the most brilliant mechanical and manufacturing engineers that I know. He's an absolute wizard, amongst other things, at moving very, very heavy things with physics principles and doing them with really fun ways with four-wheelers in the middle of the night. He also does a lot of cool projects and zany things like, hey, we're going to try to do the first transcontinental FRC team in the South Bronx in Vietnam, make it happen. His son and daughter were both on our first robotics and first tech challenge teams down in the Bronx while living in New Hampshire, commuting. They've done some extraordinary things. But Sean, we're going to focus a little bit on him and his story throughout STEAM education as we've been highlighting different stories. So please welcome Sean and Keith Violet. Thank you guys so much for all of the hard work that you put in and the donations. All of our satellite kickoff partners, as well as Weston, received the kit, and we will be selecting one team from every site to receive one of the Air Rocket Works kits and some of our other things. We will be making sure that we just announce those and distribute those later. We had a little bit of technical difficulties in the beginning, so we're running just a bit behind, but we promise you, for all of you guys are in that drawing, and we'll have those given away. So, Sean, if I may bring you out on stage. Sean, you're a junior this year at Timberlane High School, is that correct?
Yeah, indeed.
Okay, and you've done some really cool projects, probably with your dad from when you were yay big?
Yeah.
Okay, so in elementary school, you entered an invention competition. Can you tell me about that?
So my school did it was called a Young Inventor Program, and so it was kind of like you make a signboard and you make your experiment, and then there's a bunch of people touring through, teachers and people from the schools. That was when I was in elementary school. I made the first generation of this paper airplane launcher. My goal was to make a handheld paper airplane launcher so I could consistently throw paper airplanes at the same speed and also do like a burst fire so I can throw a bunch all at once.
And could they travel like a set distance or anything else like that too, or?
So that was the first generation. That was a blue 3D printed one, and I eventually got in the newspaper, and that's how I eventually got into a different thing, and that's how we eventually built Gen 2, and Gen 2 is better. And
can you demonstrate how it works? And you rose to national fame and maybe international fame. Like, it was really cool, right?
Yeah. So I was on the Fallon Inventions for this Gen 2, so that was very interesting. And so the way this works is it's so there's a housing and there's the rails where your paper airplanes slide on, and then on the inside here you can't see it, but there's two flywheels on motors that are spring-loaded together. And those flywheels grip the paper airplane and throw it forward. And we have triggers here. And so.
And your inspiration was like a pitching machine?
Yeah, the inspiration was like a pitching machine, but for paper airplanes. And so, without further ado, I'll give a quick example here.
So any pointers and tips for these guys that may be looking to build something cool like this down the line? Keith, Sean, anything?
Let's see. So we started with experimenting with Legos.
Just bring it up to your mouth.
Yeah, okay. So we started experimenting with Legos to get the concept down.
Yeah.
And then we took the time to design and 3D print.
Yeah, so we
all the
modeled
red
it in
sections.
CAD.
Yep.
That was very interesting because I'd never touched CAD before that, and he was kind of, well, you're my teacher for that, and I'm very happy because now I enjoy solving problems, and for me, I can run CAD and I can design whatever I want. Like recently, over the summer, I wanted to challenge myself, and so I 3D modeled a whole organic shelf. So the shelf is like very odd and very like rounded edges and weird oval shapes. And I designed that all in CAD, and we had that cut out.
Yep.
And that was very interesting.
Big
really
access to a CNC router and a laser cutter and 3D printers and CNC milling machines. It's all fun. It's in our basement. So that's why the metal machine. But yeah, we've had a lot of fun doing all kinds of crazy projects over the years. Colin Furs is a big inspiration.
Like we did a drift trike, kind of
yeah,
like that.
we didn't bring it today, but we've built a drift trike. I don't know if you've ever seen that on Colin Furs' channel. It's so much fun.
So it's a trike, and the back wheels are go-kart tires, but you deflate the tires and you stick on this really big plastic tubing.
PVC pipe.
So then it's sliding all the time, and we have a, what was it, like a 30-horse motor on it? Or?
It's an 8-horsepower snowblower engine.
Yeah, that's what it was.
So
put that on.
Fun.
So they do some really cool things. If you haven't connected with them, look for them on Air Rocket Works. You guys might want to reach out to them if you have some CAD questions or invention questions. Thank you guys so much for everything that you're doing for the FIRST community.
Yeah.
So this year is all about inviting people to take center stage and highlighting some student initiatives, team initiatives as well. So we're going to showcase a couple of them. Please join me in welcoming one of last year's Massachusetts Dean's List finalists, Miss Ellie. Hi, Ellie.
Hi, Wayne.
I'm so excited to see you. I'm such a big fan.
Oh, I'm such a big fan of you.
Oh, you're so sweet. So you have this thing called Ageless Science, which was really cool, and we got to have a conversation recently. You want to tell us about Ageless Science?
Yes, Ageless Science is a really amazing program that I run that I'm so excited about, where we bring high school students to local retirement communities to have discussions about amazing scientific advances. So this could be like CRISPR or organ transplantation engineering or nuclear energy. And as part of that initiative, we brought Wayne in to make a little podcast to make the topics more accessible for people and talk about his career.
And I'm really humbled and honored to get to talk to some of it. There's a lot of things that we covered, including celebrating FIRST. My career path, I was an alumni like way back when, before First Tech Challenge existed. I know many moons ago, but you know, we're all paying it forward. So thank you for the opportunity to talk about it. I thought some of our questions were really insightful, like what makes a good mentor, which leads into our next segment. What have FIRST students taught me? What have mentors taught me along the journey, and some of my perspectives on education? So it's really not about me, but it's about highlighting one example of what a student is daring to do for initiative. Ellie, you got to go down to Worlds for Deans along with Sasha, right? Big shout out to Sasha. And Coley, where are you? Coley was our other one, okay? So January 15th is when the Dean's List submissions are due this year. So mentors, get that, make sure we lock that in, get that in on time, please. Tell us about your wonderful students. You had a very special guest at the Dean's List Luncheon. You want to tell us about that really quick?
Yeah, I brought my mom to the Dean's List Luncheon.
Shout out to all the parents that make this happen and support our kids in FTC.
I think, yes.
And you met kids 400 from all over the world. I'm embarrassing, like, her humility is one of the big things that a lot of our girls exude here, so sorry, Ellie, that if I'm putting you on the spot, but it's the same thing. We're laughing, we're talking, we're having a casual conversation. I flipped the interview on her as well to tell us about what she's doing. The all-girls up-and-coming team that's rookies from you guys, yeah? Okay. Well, so tell us about what also it takes to make this happen. You've been in this since FLL for how many years, and who's been guiding you along the way?
This is my 7th year of robotics, and none of it would be possible without my amazing teammates, and especially Coach Carrie Gumbert, who has been in Weston for over 10 years of robotics. And his outstanding leadership allowed him to win the Compass Award at the state championship last year. So if you're not aware, the Compass Award is an award that's given out to one exceptional mentor each year at the state championship who demonstrates cooperation and gracious professionalism. And we're so proud of Coach Gumbert, and we'd really like to show you his video to recognize everything he's done for us over our entire robotics career.
The places you'll go with Coach Gumbert. Congratulations, today's your day. You've joined GNCE, you're off and away. Coach Gumbert will encourage you to try new things, to experiment and innovate, to spread your wings. You'll tinker and tweak and problem solve too, and with each challenge conquered, he'll show you just what you can do. You may not be successful because sometimes you won't. You'll find yourself with a wayward thought. Some designs are working, but mostly they're not. A place where you wonder, what's next, what's then? Do you dare rebuild? Do you dare try again? But Coach Gumbert is steadfast. He'll never give up. When you feel like quitting, he'll lift you up. He'll teach you to fail and learn from each blunder. He'll patiently foster your passion and wonder. Oh, the places you'll go. There's fun to be done. There's points to be scored. There are matches to be won. And the magical things you can do with a gear. You might be discouraged, but do persevere. You'll have fun whether or not points are scored, because with Coach Gumbert, the journey's the reward.
Robotics Club is going to give us a really cool skit. So without further ado, Andover Robotics Club. Take my line. I was supposed to say Andover Robotics was going to give us a cool skit about the gears. So I just went all intro there. No worries.
What's up, Barbie?
You know, Oppenheimer, we may have been the 2 blockbusters of the summer, but we better watch out because there's about to be a third.
A third? What could possibly reach our star power?
The Girls in Engineering and Robotics Symposium, or GEARS.
A symposium? What kind of thing is that?
It's an event for aspiring engineers to learn what's possible as part of the emerging minorities in STEAM. Students can attend workshops hosted by STEAM professionals to develop their personal and technical skills, just like the technicalities of how to properly wear high heels to elevate your thinking. Physics are involved.
Wait, when is this? I do not want to miss the unveiling of the Arc Particle Accelerator later on this month.
Don't you worry, it's on September 30th, so it won't conflict. I should know, since I'm the one who's going to be unveiling the accelerator.
And where is it? My quantum-powered V16 electron transmitter automobile is being studied at NASA right now, so I need to make sure the rocket-fueled car and building can make it without having to recharge.
It's going to be at Andover High School. I'd even be able to rollerblade there. Just make sure to be there at 8:30 a.m. and plan to stay until 3. Sorry, but your beauty sleep will have to wait.
Wait, you said it's called GEARS? Does that mean only girls can attend?
Nope, it's open to all gender minorities.
I have already taken 73 courses on rocket science, obtained 2 degrees in theoretical physics, and have built 15 Barbie dream houses. What else can I learn at GEARS?
There's going to be 3 tracks. First is role models, where you can talk to existing engineers about their experience in STEAM. Second is technical workshops, where you can learn skills such as soldering. And lastly is what's next, where you can take a sneak peek into your future in STEAM.
Wait, now I want to go too.
So true, bestie. Come on, Barbies, let's go party.
At GEARS!
There go my lab assistants. See you there.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
This is so cool. All these productions, like, it's so fun. So let's, wait, GEARS, I want to go to that. Bots and Tea Party?
A Boston Tea Party?
No. You're pronouncing it wrong. Bots and Tea Party combines 2 of our favorite things.
Oh,
robots.
I get it.
Fancy tea parties. Cookies. Oh my.
All of my favorite things.
Oh, okay. So let's wind up going to presented by Windsor School. Where are the Windsor Wildbots and the Windsor Wildcats? So we have a lot of wonderful scrimmage partners, and scrimmages are really important. So let's go see what's going on here.
So excited.
So excited?
Yes. Are these cookies?
Are these
and
cookies?
Tea? Oh my goodness.
But we were promised robots
Wayne,
too.
do you want some tea?
I would love a cup of tea.
And Wayne, I heard the Queen of England was here.
The Queen of England, she's also the Queen of New England too, in Boston Tech Initiative too. So I wonder if she might come out and join us. Look at this. So cool. So pretty. Do we have another robot that might be shiny and does stuff too that you can show us? I just have to say, like last year, these ladies were cracking me up as MCs. It really fulfilled my like dad joke and engineered side where they were telling these great robot jokes the entire time. They were singing, they were dancing, they were happy. It's a great facility. And we have a lot of our scrimmages that are being lined up right now, so please do wait. We started our season early on September 9th, as you guys know. That means our entire season is shifting up, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about, oh, hello, Your Highness. Thank you for joining us.
Carry on.
Carry on. Would you like a cup of tea?
Yes, please.
All right, would you pour her a cup of tea?
Yes, of course. Anything for the Queen.
And then, wow, look at this robot. This is cool. But wait, there's more.
What is that?
So, how about a big hand for Rahil? Rahil's one of our team leaders from the Andover Robotics Club. They are launching their 4th robotics team this year, Arc Sandstorm, and this is Arc Sandstorm's robot. It's got chickens. I like the team collaboration here. It's got spinny things. What do these do?
They look nice.
They look nice, okay? 450 RPM, spinning, railing, flailing octopus of destruction and kindness, right? So lots of cool stuff. Let's look at what the season is going to be like. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Please go to the Bots and Tea Party and any of our other scrimmages. So what's changed real quick? We are running 8 qualifier tournaments, not 10 this year. That means we're going to 24 teams per event. And why do we do this? Well, it means a decreased volunteer load. It means spacing so that if we need to turn on additional events, we can then have weekends that are available that fits within our season. It also means that there's room for team and community growth because you get to play with more teams that you normally do, as well as really get to allow your teams to compete at a bigger level and learn from them. So sorry guys, I have a little bit of a mic problem. Can I have the handheld? I apologize. Is that better? I'm so sorry, guys. You guys got to yell at me. But the other thing is, all right, so who knows this? In first, how many teams do you need to have a 3-team alliance as opposed to 2? Magical number is 21, okay? So by going to 24, that guarantees that we can play 3-team alliances. That means 12, not 8 teams get to go. And that might be the spark that gets you to get to eliminations, play, and elevate your understanding. It might be that thing where we made it to the semifinals, we made it to the finals. We won as part of the alliance. It also changes your strategy as well too, because that forces you to switch your second bot. You cannot play the same 2 teams 2 matches in a row. Third match, if it goes to a rubber match, you can play any teams you want. But again, this helps us grow. It gives us a roadmap to increase the number of teams and hit our goals for Massachusetts First Tech Challenge and Boston Tech Initiative, and we need your help to do this. Bigger, better, more dynamic, and fun play throughout the season in the first championship. So let's give you an overview of our schedule real quick. Round 1 starts at Needham High School, goes to Shrewsbury next, and then we have back-to-back right after New Year's at Andover. Round 2, and we're confirming the dates right now. Canton High School, Lexington, some of our veteran event host partners, Worcester Polytech, as well as Western New England University will be joining us this year. We're excited about those. We do have 2 Andovers because it's Saturday and Sunday. So there's 2 events hosted back-to-back at Andover High School. That is correct. Our state championship is also on the 9th as well. So that's what our season looks like right now. All right, guys, so there's one last thing that we have to do, and thank you guys so much. We will answer some more questions. At 12 o'clock starts our live stream. We've got one more fun event that is a full event participation. Right now, this side's a little light, so some of you guys, can you shift over? We're gonna need some help on this side. Maybe those in the back, can you jump over to this side or fill in some of these seats? Those of you guys that want to scoot forward, you can bring that. I need you guys right close to that. And a robotics club, we're going to bring you guys back up here to run a fun little event for us. We're skipping the GNC one. We're skipping the GNC talk.
Should we go on with end of robotics or just end of robotics?
Yep, and you guys can start handing out chickens and other things. All right, so who wants some free chickens and some free t-shirts and other things? I want to hear you make some noise, okay? So GNC is going to come around, and they're going to throw you some stuff while we're getting queued up for our last thing. And this is it after that. Andover's going to join us on stage.
Guys, who wants free stuff? Yeah! Woo! Woo!
And make sure we send some back there if there's some Andover ones.
We'll try again. The green ones? The green ones? Woo! Woo! Oh wait, I'm not doing the super shit. Are you out of shirts? Oh! They want t-shirts too? Wait.
You. Hey, Sasha.
Do you guys want some t-shirts?
They're coming around with more. You guys enjoying those? Hey, our FLL group, can I have you here? I'm going to need you guys to be on this team over there. Yeah, let's bring... You got to go? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. So, Sasha, we're going to close this out because it's really a...
On for this part. Sorry.
All right, guys. Can you stop squawking your chickens for 1 second? We're going to let you party up in just a second. We have to do two things. So, Sasha, you've arranged for an activity to send us out and get us all pumped for our kickoff reveal, right?
Yes, I have indeed. So, hey everyone, we're only a few minutes away from the moment you've all been waiting for since the moment you stepped into this school. So I think we're all getting a bit antsy from waiting, but let me hear from you guys. Who's excited for the center stage game reveal?
Time once we start the game. From Charlie Ray Jepsen. It's always a good time.
Well, right before we dive into that, let's play a quick game to get into the spirit. So it is my pleasure to welcome you all to the first ever pre-game reveal balloon race. All right, so I know y'all have been sitting down for a long time, so let's all stand up and just stretch and shake it all out. Now, while all of you do that, let me explain the rules. First, we're going to be splitting the auditorium in half into the red and blue alliance, okay? So red, can I hear some noise? And from blue. All right, allow me to introduce you to your team representatives. For the Red Alliance, we have our fantastic kickoff MC, Eva from GNCE. And over on the Blue Alliance, we've got the man, the myth, the legend, Wayne from BTi. Let's give it up for Wayne. Now let's not keep you waiting any longer.
Interrupt for a moment. We need a few folks in this section. Go back. Go back a row or two.
Yeah, we're gonna need some more people in this side. It's a bit of an imbalance between red and blue. So if some people from red would like to switch over, or from blue would like to switch over to red, feel free to do so.
Guys, join blue.
Okay, front row. People in red and blue, can you move over to this side? Thank you.
Woo.
You can leave it, you can leave it. Okay, let's not keep you guys waiting any longer. So once I count down from 3, a bunch of balloons will be released into the audience from the back. So whichever alliance can get all their balloons to the front to their representatives will win. All right, are we ready? Let's let the race begin. In 3, 2, 1, go!
Let's go, let's go. Woo.
And we're off to a very even start. Blue's going a lot quicker than red right now. Oh, blue's throwing them into the red side.
Let's go, let's go.
What a mishap. I'm not your representative. Let's send them to Eva and Wayne. Eva and Wayne.
Guys, I got these, I got these.
Go, 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 go.
Coming. Oh.
Almost there, guys. Slow and steady wins the race. Now, if you take a look up at the stage, it looks like there's a lot more blue balloons than red. Red, you better pick up the pace. You have more people on your side.
We're killing it, guys. Let's go.
Almost there, almost there. I can't help you guys. Go, go, go. Only 1 minute left. You gotta get those last few balloons up. And you're 3, 2, 1, and we have the Blue Alliance as the winners!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, please take a seat. The moment you've been waiting for. We're going to kick it over to first. Carrie, Zach, if you would please, let's turn it over and find out about this year's game.
Hello, First Tech Challenge teams, coaches, mentors, volunteers, parents, friends, and the entire community. I'm Amy Linebarger, and I'm happy to be here for the First Tech Challenge 2023 to 2024 season kickoff and reveal of Centerstage, presented by RTX, all part of the First In show, presented by Qualcomm season. All 10 of the 2023 Dean's List Award winners are here today, and we're honored to be your kickoff celebration hosts.
Hi First Tech Challenge. I'm Lucas Boyle, and I'm pumped to be here today to raise the curtain on our Centerstage season and celebration. We have a full show today, packed with kickoff messages from some familiar and favorite first faces, the Centerstage season reveal, and a detailed field walkthrough to help teams get started with season planning and gameplay strategy.
All of the Centerstage game materials will be published on our website after the broadcast, so please use the website as your reference during the season. To officially welcome you to our kickoff today, we have First Chief Executive Officer Chris Moore.
Hello, First Tech Challenge community. The First In show, presented by Qualcomm season, is here, and we're celebrating the role our STEM skills play in the arts. I'm thrilled to help usher in the new season and welcome you to Centerstage, presented by RTX. I want to take a moment to thank you, our participants, our coaches, our mentors, and our volunteers. Thank you for making First Tech Challenge program the successful, engaging, and fun program that it is. We also wouldn't be here today without the generous support of our sponsors. I want to extend a very special thanks to the First Tech Challenge season presenting sponsor, RTX. This season, more than 70,000 First Tech Challenge participants from around the world will raise the curtain on the power of using design, creativity, and precision to create all new experiences. On behalf of everyone here at First, I want to wish all of you good luck and a great season. We can't wait to see how you take on the game this year and put your skills center stage.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. A huge thank you to all our generous sponsors this year and making the first in-show season and center stage game possible. Inspired by the innovative spirit of First participants, Qualcomm's support and collaboration continues to help strengthen the pipeline of STEM leaders who will create a future pushing the limits of innovation.
Hello, First Tech Challenge teams, and welcome to Center Stage, part of the first in-show season presented by Qualcomm. My name is Kedar Kundap, Senior Vice President and General Manager of Compute and Gaming at Qualcomm Technologies, Inc. Every day, we use STEAM to push the edge of what's possible in extended reality. From recreating legendary cinematic effects to reimagining how technology can allow audiences to have immersive experiences in art, music, and gaming. This season, your innovative spirit and unique skill sets will take center stage as you shine a spotlight on the endless possibilities of art and STEM. The future is yours to create, so take the stage. Good luck, First Tech Challenge teams.
Thanks, Qualcomm. And now, the Center Stage season presenting sponsor, RTX, is taking us backstage to show us the beauty and importance of design and some of their most incredible innovations.
Welcome to the 2023 First Tech Challenge season, Center Stage presented by RTX. I'm the Industrial Manager in the Hot Section Module Center here at Pratt & Whitney. This is one of many production sites that makes us a world leader in design, manufacturing, and service of aircraft engines. As an RTX employee, I'm able to share my operations and career coaching expertise with the First Tech Challenge teams I coach. Shout out to my robotics warriors in Connecticut and Montana. This year's First Tech Challenge season explores how design can set the stage for innovation. We'll celebrate the role of STEM in the arts where creativity can inspire big ideas. Let's take a quick look behind the curtain at some incredible RTX innovations that exemplify the beauty in engineering and technology. At the nexus of science and art, we find the James Webb Telescope, an international project led by NASA. Raytheon developed the focal plane arrays on MIRI, one of Webb's 4 key imaging instruments. By capturing light that's been traveling for billions of years, it's giving us new insight into some of the biggest secrets of the universe and revolutionizing our understanding of it. In Asheville, North Carolina, we engineered a new future in aviation, a sustainable modern solution that was born out of design. Our team of engineers collaborated to build a world-class turbine airfoil factory that exemplifies Industry 4.0 core principles. This allows us to meet future market demand while using less energy and creating less waste. And finally, check out RTX's hybrid electric flight demonstrator program. Collins Aerospace is developing a 1 megawatt electric motor that will help reduce aircraft carbon emissions on the next generation of commercial flight. This engineering marvel delivers 4 times the power, twice the voltage, and half the weight of our current generator. Technology meets design again. This year, your First Tech Challenge team will join thousands of students worldwide to show us how design can drive innovation. It's your turn to take center stage with creativity. Best of luck this year, and remember, teamwork makes the dream work.
Wow! Thanks for the behind-the-scenes look, Mickey. And thank you for being a First Tech Challenge mentor.
We want to take a moment to remind our community that gracious professionalism is an important part of what makes First, and that it's also at the heart of each team practice and get-together, and each and every First Tech Challenge event. This year, one of our most gracious and professional volunteers, our 2023 First Championship Volunteer of the Year, Chris Johannesson is sharing a message about gracious professionalism.
Hi, I'm Chris Johannesson. Here in Los Angeles, I mentor first teams, from beginners to advanced. I encourage gracious professionalism based on what the actual words mean to me. What is a professional? Doing challenging work, using your mind and talent and education as much as using your hands. Adult professionals push very hard towards their goals. Design the product, cure the patient, earn a promotion. They are competing against their own goals. This season, help your team set internal goals. How will you measure success? A reliable autonomous? Learning a new skill? Solve problems in a methodical way. Learn all you can beforehand. For a large technical challenge, break it into smaller steps. Discuss with your teammates and seek advice from mentors. These are things that adult professionals do. Start developing these skills now. By the way, colleges will recognize your efforts. What about the gracious part? Help your teammates all you can. Favor communication, not isolation. When you enter the robotics room, show the behavior and even the language that makes others feel welcome and valued. People will notice and stay and contribute thanks to your influence. So, gracious professionalism, to me, means being a helpful teammate while pushing hard towards your goals. Have an exciting season.
What an important message from Mr. Chris Johansson. Our team coach also makes sure gracious professionalism is a priority for our team. Next up, we have Senior Program Manager of First Tech Challenge, Joanne Halloran. Joanne has been an integral part of the First Tech Challenge team for more than 16 years and fundamental to the growth and success of our First Tech Challenge program. She joins us today to welcome you all to the center stage season and share a few updates.
Hi, I am Joanne Halloran, Senior Program Manager of First Tech Challenge, and I couldn't be happier to talk about the new season and this year's game, Center Stage, presented by RTX. First, I want to share my gratitude with all of you, our First Tech Challenge community. Your ability to problem solve, your creativity, your perseverance, and your smart minds have inspired all of us at First Tech Challenge. With your help, we continue to move the mission of First forward. You can help by spreading the word about First. I would love for you to tell people in your communities how the First programs have served you, your accomplishments and new skills, and how we are together changing the future. Our goal is to make First Tech Challenge available to students across the globe, and to do that, we need your help. Speaking of growing our community, thanks to the generous support of the DECA Foundation and Bosch, we have rookie team grants available. These are need-based grants that will provide $750 towards a rookie team registration and give rookie teams a head start on the purchase of their competition kits. Team and class pack season registration is open. This season, our robot technology team has developed what we call the Vision Portal, providing a common way to use TensorFlow and AprilTag, a new technology that's now part of the First Tech Challenge software. Vision Portal supports image recognition, robot navigation, multiple cameras, and many other features, all available to teams programming in FTC blocks or Java. Now it's easier for more teams to succeed in Center Stage. Like all industries, from consumer goods to food to automobiles, First was impacted in previous seasons by the challenges in the supply chain. Thanks to the hard work by Rev Robotics and our First community, we have control hubs in stock right now for teams and class pack users. Speaking of Rev Robotics, did you know that they were founded by a First alum? First alumni are folks who have graduated from high school after time on a First team. All of you on teams now will be First alumni someday, and we hope that you will be excited to remain a part of the First community. Many of our First Tech Challenge team mentors and event volunteers are First alumni. Be sure to thank them and ask them about their journeys. Learn more about First alumni benefits and tools to make the most of your First experience on the First website. And finally, We are continuing to expand the First Tech Challenge Championship footprint. At the 2024 First Championship, we're growing team participation from 192 to 224 teams, allowing more teams than ever the opportunity to qualify. It will still require teamwork, grit, and your best gracious professionalism to get there, but we want to ensure every team around the world has a merit-based opportunity to earn a spot. And now, without any further ado, here's the information you've all been waiting for. Center Stage, presented by RTX. We hope you enjoy the game and wish you the best of luck for an amazing and inspiring season.
Thank you, Joanne. We also want to share an enormous thank you to our dedicated game design committee, Jessica Ballin-Smith, Michael Coleman, Mark Edelman, Aaron Fadden, Joe Parado, Manny Lowe, and Kevin Rudd. Thank you for the hundreds of hours you have spent creating, refining, and documenting this year's artistic and creative game, and the hundreds of hours you'll spend in season. We can't wait to show you the most important part of our Center Stage Kickoff, the reveal. A special thank you to the very spectacular 2019-2020 Volunteer of the Year winner, Kevin Thorpe, for the beautiful animation, and first very own Michelle Long for narrating every detail. After the reveal, make sure to stick around for the field walkthrough. And now, the exhilarating reveal of the 2023-2024 First Tech Challenge game, Center Stage, presented by RTX.
Welcome to the First Tech Challenge 2023-2024 season game, Center Stage, presented by RTX. A team consists of up to 2 driver operators, a human player, a coach, and a robot. Each match is played with 4 randomly selected teams, 2 per alliance. Each alliance is allowed 1 human player. Your opponent for one match may be your partner for another. Robots must be built from materials specified in the game manual and fit within an 18-inch sizing tool and may expand after the match begins. The primary scoring element is a plastic hexagonal-shaped pixel 3 inches across by 1/2 inch thick. There are 64 white pixels and 10 each yellow, green, and purple pixels. Teams may construct custom game and scoring elements, including paper drones and team props. The game is played on a 12-foot square playing field with a foam tile floor and 1-foot-high walls. 2 trusses are located midfield. Between the trusses is the hinged stage door. In the back of the field are the backdrops, 1 for each alliance. Beneath the backdrops are taped-off backstage areas. In the front corners are taped-off wings. In each quadrant of the field are 3 separate spike marks. Just inside of the front wall are white pixel location stripes, and outside of the front wall there are 3 taped-off landing zones. April tags are located in the field wall and both backdrops to aid navigation. Blue and red alliance stations are on the left and right sides of the field, and in front of those are the red and blue human player stations. Before each match, pixels are stacked next to each player station and on the inside of the front wall. 4 pixels are placed on the spike marks. However, team props may be substituted for the spike mark pixels. Teams place their robots on the field, touching the side walls. Each team may preload 1 yellow and/or 1 purple pixel onto their robot. Teams may also preload 1 drone onto their robot. The spike mark pixels and team props are then randomized. The field and players are now ready. The match begins with a 30-second autonomous period. During this time, teams may attempt to score using pre-programmed instructions and sensor inputs. A purple pixel placed on the spike mark tape earns 10 points. However, if the spike mark tape has a team prop, placing a purple pixel will earn 20 points. Each pixel in the backstage earns 3 points. And each pixel placed on the backdrop earns 5 points. If a yellow pixel is placed on the backdrop in the location indicated by the spike mark pixel, it earns 10 bonus points. Or 20 points if a team prop was used as an indicator. Robots parked in the backstage earn 5 points. Pixels scored in the autonomous period will also earn points at the end of the driver-controlled period. Following the autonomous period is the 2-minute driver-controlled period. During this time, human players may introduce new pixels into the wings. Each pixel that is placed backstage earns 1 point, and each pixel on the backdrop earns 3 points. Each mosaic of 3 identical or 3 different pixels earns 10 points. If an alliance can build pixels above the set lines, they earn a 10-point bonus for each line they cross. The last 30 seconds of the driver-controlled period is the end game. Robots may continue scoring pixels, and there are also ways to earn bonus points. Robots may launch drones over the truss or stage door and into the landing zones. Depending on where they're parked, they can earn 10, 20, or 30 points. Robots parked in the backstage area earn 5 points. And a robot suspended by the rigging earns 20 points. There are many ways to score in Center Stage, but there are also rules that, if not followed, will deduct points from your alliance. Robots may not limit the upward motion of the stage door. Robots may not descore pixels from the opposing alliance's backdrop. Intentionally damaging another robot is not allowed. A robot may not affect the flight of an opposing alliance's drone. A robot may not make contact with an opponent suspended from the truss. This has been a summary of this season's game, Center Stage, presented by RTX. For complete rules, please read both game manuals and check the Q&A forum. And always remember the most important rule of First Tech Challenge, gracious professionalism. Good luck, teams, and have a spectacular season.
Wow, what an exciting game we have ahead of us this season. Here to give us a closer look at the field is Erin Fadden.
Hi.
Oh, hi, Erin. Erin is a Game Design Committee team member and First Tech Challenge project manager.
Hey teams, I'm Erin Fadden, member of the First Tech Challenge Game Design Committee. First, I want to give a huge shout out to the Game Design Committee for all of their hard work they put in year-round to design each game. I hope you're excited about this year's Center Stage game presented by RTX. Center Stage will include 2 team-built elements to be used to earn points. The team game element, which is called the team prop, is the team-built element that is only used during the autonomous period. This is referred to as a game element because it cannot be picked up and scored after use during the autonomous randomization task. The drone is also a team-built element, but this is used during endgame for scoring. The drone has some specific build rules. For example, it must have the general configuration of an airplane with a defined fuselage. It must be built with 1 sheet of paper, and teams must build at least 2, 1 red and 1 blue drone. So, if you're thinking, a crumpled up piece of paper will work, right? The answer is no. That would not be considered a legal drone. Make sure to carefully read the team prop and drone build rules that are outlined in the Game Manual Part 1 when constructing each of these items. New this season, we are using April tags for robot navigation and autonomous tasks. There are a total of 8 April tags on the field. As you saw in the animation, there are 3 unique April tags on each of the backdrops and 2 unique April tags over the pixel stacks in front of the field. The scoring element in this year's game are the pixels. There are 94 pixels that come in 4 different colors. Each pixel is approximately 3 inches wide and 1/2 inch thick. Pixels are scored on the backdrop. Here you can see that the backdrop is at a 30-degree angle to help the pixels stay in place when they are scored. Robots can simply place pixels onto the backdrop or onto other scored pixels. They can also be dropped from higher up and should still stay in place. Teams should be cautious while scoring on the backdrop and do their best to not knock or shake it. Some level of contact is okay, but knocking the backdrop hard enough can cause the pixels to descore. Spanning the field are the trusses, riggings, and stage door. The truss includes height-limiting bars that are 14 inches from the playing field floor. Teams will have to be thoughtful in their robot design to accommodate traversing the field with these lowered heights. The truss also includes the riggings, which are the red and blue bars for their respective alliance. Robots may suspend from the riggings during endgame. Only one robot can hang at a time from their alliance rigging. The stage door, prior to being lifted, has a 12-inch clearance from the playing field floor. The door can be raised to approximately 26 inches. Stoppers on the sides of the truss will not allow the stage door to be raised any higher. The width of the stage door provides enough space for 2 robots to travel through at the same time. However, robots traveling from the audience side of the stage door have transit priority. There are rules outlined in the game manual part 2 that penalize robots that grasp onto the stage door. This is another area of the center stage game where teams will have to come up with some creative designs to effectively lift the door to travel from one side of the field to the other. And finally, as part of the end game, robots may launch their drones to score points. The drone must be launched so that it passes over the rigging or top pole of the stage door to be eligible to score points. Robots that are hanging from the rigging may also launch their drone during endgame. Neither a drive team member or robot should interfere with a launched drone. Interfering with the opposing alliance's drone while in flight will cause the affected alliance to automatically earn points for landing zone 1. I hope you enjoyed this overview of Center Stage. Please make sure to read both the Game Manual Part 1 and Game Manual Part 2. There are 2 versions of each of these manuals on our website for both remote and traditional gameplay. Every team is allocated 1 account to ask questions and receive official answers on the First Tech Challenge forum. Thank you so much for tuning in, and best of luck this season.
Thanks so much, Erin. The field looks full of creative and fun new challenges. We can't wait to see your creative solutions and robots in action on the field. If you're watching but haven't registered yet, there's still time to join in on the action. Visit our website for details and to get started. Be sure to tag First Tech Challenge on your team's social media throughout the season so we can keep in touch and see how your team is tackling the game. Thanks for joining us to kick off this season and for being part of the FIRST community. Now it's lights, camera, steam.
Please. There we go. Thank you very, very much. And I got Mike 19. We're going to swap to the handhelds. So, Massachusetts First Tech Challenge. What do you guys think of the 2023-2024 game Center Stage? Who's excited about the autonomous challenge here? Guys, autonomous is incredibly important. Those of you that went to some of our programming as well as Cadence Sensor Fusion workshop this morning, there's a lot of hints and a lot of cool things that you can do there. How about that end game? Anyone excited about hanging? I'm thrilled to see you guys come up with creative solutions to hang your robots. How about those paper airplane launchers? My. So it just so happens that we have a subject matter expert here that you guys might be able to contact too. And again, I couldn't have planned that better. Like, I honestly didn't know until they were already scheduled to talk. So Sean, Keith, thank you very much. I'm sure I encourage you guys to reach out to them on Air Rocket Works is probably the best way, and then maybe link up on a Zoom if they're willing to. Sean, I taught at your school last year. You need volunteer hours, right? So this would count as community service and your service to help mentor. Is that cool? Thank you so much. All right, guys, did you enjoy today's show? Here's what's going to happen for our remaining 30 to 40 minutes with you, depending on what you want to do. So, first off, we are going to do a Q&A where you guys can ask some questions. We will not be able to answer every single question because you guys are going to read Game Manual 2 and pay attention. Sign up for the Q&A account for the first official ones. The Game Design Committee, the referees, we don't know yet, but we are going to answer to the best of our abilities. At 1 o'clock, how many of you guys built a rocket? If you can stay and would like to go shoot those off and see how far you can shoot them outside in the field, not down a hallway like we did earlier, Keith and Sean will be taking you immediately out here. You guys can go launch those, and we can send you off after that. 3, 2, 1, blast off. But before that, this year was about getting and highlighting a lot of our student initiatives. Today's programming that you saw, planning from everything with these 3 sites, our event host partners, our workshops, getting all the rooms situated, getting the Google Meets, in addition to Coach, was a student-led effort. And I'm so incredibly proud and humbled to have worked with this incredible team. But I want to give you guys, them a moment to be acknowledged and share their experiences with you and tell you guys what it meant to them to be your kickoff host planning committee. And maybe pass on some words of wisdom and invite you guys to help us with future events. I think with the amount of talent that we have in Massachusetts, do you guys want to make state championship awesome in a really big party? All right, so I want you guys to start thinking about this. We want to invite you guys to come center stage. What if we had a song, dance, food, as well as a talent show where you guys can perform skits, you can show us your different talents on there. Eva can show us her intergalactic space chicken wrangling and how to speak narwhal, all that fun stuff, right? So without further ado, please help me in welcoming the Andover Robotics Club as well as the Weston Robotics Club and the GNC Committee Planning Committee members, and Deb Rose back onto stage. Hi. Well, how about our 2 MCs here, Miss Sophia Way, as well as Miss Eva Odio. So, ladies, take it away.
We are so grateful for this opportunity to be able to host this amazing event. We could not have done it without some special individuals who contributed countless hours to make this work.
I would like to, I have 2 mics on me right now. I'd like to just highlight a few people who went above and beyond. Like, obviously this involves so many people, but just to call out a few from our team, we have Sophia here, who helped me a ton, Ellie, who you saw earlier, some people who were backstage, Zach, Kirsten, Winston, all these guys, they helped so much, and of course, like, I cannot thank our coach enough. Like, Mr. Gumber has done so much for us. We wouldn't be here without him, obviously, so.
I'm Rahil. I'm from the Andover Robotics Club. I'm the team leader of Lightning. That's Luke. He's the team leader of Thunder. And that's Sasha over there, the team leader of Hailstorm. And we also have a 4th team called Art Sandstorm that we're bringing into Andover Robotics Club this year.
And it was a great pleasure to be working with GNCE to help get this kickoff going, so thank you guys so much for that. And we would also like to give a quick shout out to our mentor, Mrs. Reedy, because this is her final year after being with ARC for much over a decade. So can I just have a hand for her?
About this year, well wishes, what you hope that they might do, what ideas you might want to take from the crowd right now. I'll give you a moment to talk.
First off, I just want to say about this game, I think we've all noticed just how much just got thrown at us. That's a lot. There's climbing, shooting, there's picking up weird objects. So just well wishes to you guys for figuring all that out. And I'm sure we'll, as a community in FTC, be able to communicate to each other and try to figure things out together. But we got this, guys.
Guys, we were so honored to have all of you run all these workshops for us today. And I hope that, like, next year, some of you who didn't run workshops maybe get inspired by the ones you saw this year, and think to maybe start one, get inspired to start one next year at kickoff. And I hope, like Sasha said, good luck to everyone, people on stage included, with this year's challenge. Yeah.
I'm sure from all of us in the Massachusetts First Tech Challenge community, as well as Boston Tech Initiative, we are so grateful for your job. I I can't say enough about working with each and every one of you, but I do have to give a shout out to Ms. Eva Odio. You have been the point of communication and a lot of the team leader, and this was by design. I think the members of GNC Carbon, the OG GNC crew, intentionally said, we're going to help support you, but we're graduating. We're going to pass the torch. So this was very much a GNC Diamond, the second team-led effort. So thank you for being my partner in fighting crime and protecting the good people of Gotham, wherever they might be. Thank you guys. Big round of applause for our planning committee. All right, so if you guys would stand to the side, can we raise that screen? And then Mr. Winston, I'm going to need you to get the curtain in just a second after we raise the screen. So here's what's going to happen, guys. We're going to do a Q&A to the best of our abilities. We have our BTi extended intern, who is at WPI, Colin. Can I have you join me on stage? And then we will invite teams after the Q&A to come up one team by one team if you would like to see the field, okay? But for the time being, we're gonna just talk about some of the nuances so you actually get to see a live field. We've got fields live in Springfield as well as in Braintree. And if you do have questions, I'm gonna be taking them from Mr. Christian Salmon or Rick Martin from Archbishop Williams. All right, guys. Winston, are you in place? Help me count it down in 3, 2, 1. All right, guys. So this is our field set up with the accurate dimensions right now. Colin, where did you go, bud? So, Colin, what are you studying at WPI this year?
I'm currently studying robotics engineering, possibly electrical computer engineering, but yeah, a lot of FIRST-related topics being covered.
And he's going to be one of the student leads that's helping to build out the FIRST Tech Challenge program at WPI with Francis O'Rourke. We're really excited that you're stepping up and taking that. It's really cool to see alumni taking center stage, no pun intended. Additionally, he is serving as our FTAA at a lot of our events. Is this accurate? He's wearing multiple hats. He's helping us with our technology and improving our cumulative knowledge and our delivery at all the events, so I thank you for that. He's also one of our referee rule advisors and referees in training, okay? So this is something that is a non-official position, but we've done this before because we have to prime the pipeline for in 3 years when you're eligible to be a referee, and if you'd like to come back, I think you guys should be the head referees, right? And it's part of First Rule, so I thank you for what you're doing. So Colin's going to help me with some Q&A here. If we can take some of the microphones and send them down into the field, if you guys have any questions based on what you've seen so far, Colin and I are going to do our best to answer any questions that we have. And additionally, Q&A, as well as reading the first game manuals 1 and 2. Colin, is there anything that you want to talk about that you've seen so far?
This is a absolutely fascinating game. I think my first thought when I saw this game was that it's very similar to Relic Recovery. I don't know if any of you know that game. It happened a few years back. This is kind of a very similar game with less teaching. It incorporates, I think, a lot of the most interesting elements that have been in First Tech Challenge games. We have a shooting element, we have scoring precisely, and we also have that climb in Endgame that we haven't seen in quite a few years now in FTC, since I think Rover Ruckus. Where to start? Immediately, I think the wildest thing about this game to me is the drones. The fact that you have something that has to follow a non-ballistic trajectory, and also the fact that the closest zone is the highest scoring. So it's not even make the paper airplane that flies the farthest. You have to fly a precise distance with a non-ballistic object, and that is going to be very hard. I have no idea even how to approach this. I don't know what teams are going to come up with for this. You can only launch the drones from behind. It has to travel over the truss or stage door to get there. So you can't, do it from right there and just make a drone that goes like that. You can't do that. You also are allowed to launch after your robot has climbed. So climbing often takes a fair bit of time because you're trying to lift all your robot's weight. Often that involves gearing down a motor really low so you get a ton of torque, but it doesn't go very fast. So I'm curious to see if anyone tries to actually shoot their drone while they're climbing, in which case you need to hang very precisely off of these rather than just kind of the classic like one point of contact that most FRC robots.
Colin, if we're alliance partners and we're best buddies and we're going to like bunk our beds so we'll have so much more room for activities, can we both hang out on the same truss? The answer is no. Only one robot per truss, okay? So one here, one there. Understood? Cool. I think the branding this year is super cool. To talk about this is the backstage, the wings, the door, right? How much movement do we have here?
Well, the stage door can swing pretty much completely open, and you're going to be able to get a full height 18-inch robot under here. Of course, you do have to push it open. You can't grasp it. Something I do think is really critical about this stage door is if any of you played FTC back in Freight Frenzy, you might remember that that field had a really small gap that wasn't covered by those kind of ground barriers, and a lot of robots had to be really small and squeeze through that gap. But then that also meant that if an opponent robot was trying to block you, they could just kind of get in that gap. And one of the things that's really different about this year from that is that you're explicitly not allowed to block your opponents through the stage door. So the stage door has to remain kind of accessible by all the robots on the field, which I also think means that we're going to see a lot of 14-inch? 14-inch to those lower bars? We're going to see a lot of 14-inch robot designs to be able to get around anywhere on the field, but I also think we're going to see a lot of full 18-inch robot designs because it's a lot less dangerous to do it this year, I think. And I think that's good. It allows you to do more complex robot designs.
You might also need the elevation, too. Sorry, guys. We're trading a mic back here just so that our streaming partners can hear as well. You also might need a robot that has the elevation as you go up. I'm really excited to see robots complete these mosaics. And the mosaics have to be what two things, right? One, they can be 3 of the same color. 2, they can be 3 non-white colors that are next to each other, but they cannot be adjacent to a 4th colored tile. It invalidates it. They have to be surrounded by white tiles in order to complete the mosaic bonus. But we've got 3 levels of this staging that they can go up on the backdrop. Some of Wayne's and our kickoff host partners' friendly build tips are, for the backdrops, make sure when you're putting in the screws that you don't cause any stress concentrations by over-tightening them and potentially cracking them. Because these are going to get hit by the robots, you don't want them causing stress concentrations and breaking. Same thing goes for the assembly here. On some of these, particularly in some of these black components, it's held on by a lock nut and a 1032 socket head cap screw that does not have a washer behind it, and it's soft plastic. So you may want to make sure that your clutch settings, if you're using power tools, are on their softest setting so that when you put the screw end through, it doesn't bore right through. Pay attention also to getting these done correctly in their placements 1 through 6 in the build assembly instructions. The 2 in the middle have a different orientation to accommodate the center stage blocking door, okay? I'm not saying that we made mistakes, but we learned some things that we want to pass along to you guys so it can eliminate hours of frustration. Additionally, these are a little bit tricky. There is a proper orientation for where the ones with the rubber stopper, if you remember those from last year, they're really fun. We only have to do 4 this year, hopefully. Make sure that you only put the rubber stopper in one end of it because it's a single-sided stopper. And the wing nuts are only touching posts 2 and 5. They both have to be on here. The open and free ends are on 1, 3, 4, and 6. Does that make sense so far? All right. We also have to talk about the tiles and what happens. Some of you guys may have been following along at World Championship, and we have the tile manufacturer that IndyMark uses has created a new spec. They're slightly different dimensions. And here's how our official recommendation from BTi and with talking to Andy and Mark and how we're going to handle it. We are not requiring all the teams to swap over to the new tile spec. They are 1/8 of an inch difference per tile, so there is a tolerance stack up that goes across. But this year's game, I'm not going to say it's forgiving in some ways, but certain games are more tile placement specific with how they're anchored. And it is going to be up to your team to decide whether or not you have the budget or it's necessary to grab new tiles or not. How we are going to handle, there's going to be more gap in these new tile fields, is that when we set up, because the backdrops and the backstage and the gaps don't matter in the rear as much, however, picking up these, if there's a gap here, will, from what we've seen, you might accidentally knock these over, and they might fall into the little crevice if that's the case. So we're going to line this up where the fields are going to be all the way forward. We are going to do our best to center, and if not, space it out from left to right so that they are equally spaced on the left and the right. That is how all of our competition fields are going to be set up. We encourage you guys to do the same thing, but we're telling everyone this is not going to change unless there's an official first rules change. So that is the specification. Does anyone have any questions with what I just said regarding the tiles? Yes, sir. Can we put a mic to Mr. Francis Schaefer over here, Sasha or Zach? Braintree, as well as... Hi, Francis. How are you?
Doing great, thank you.
What teams do you represent?
Lupine Robotics and Wolfpack.
Our reigning World Championship Inspire Award winners and Ochoa Division champs. We can't wait to see what the new Wolfpack and Lupine do this year.
Me too, it's going to be great. I have a question about the tiles, and barring a official ruling, would you mind sending out like a drawing that just shows what you just described?
I can absolutely do that. So we'll get that to you guys. I think that is a completely reasonable and helpful request. So stay tuned for that. It'll be in one of our official emails. Mentors, this is where Deb and I really need you guys to let us know if you're receiving the emails, if we need to update it. Help us out here. We do not have all the teams registered, so we are trying right now to figure out how many events that we need. And any things like that that come on official requests are going to come through Deb's first email communication. She's wonderful at handling all that. And then our Boston Tech Initiative website, we're going to try to make sure we post on there as well. How's that, Francis?
That sounds really great.
Thank you.
May I ask a question that isn't about the tiles?
Absolutely.
I noticed that the yellow 14-inch height bars, from my perspective here, are secured on one end. Can they physically be moved slightly by a robot that touches them?
So that is incorrect on our part. So what happened was that we had to make some compensations for our 3 builds, and we made sure the others were correct. So what you also see is 2 long poles. These are actually from last year, and they are identically mounted here and here and rigidly anchored on both ends. So they should, when properly attached, and we're sorry, and very sharp eye, right? And please forgive us. We're trying to do what we can for 3 kickoffs. This is a new experience, and sometimes you have things like a bolt and a wing nut that is a standard McMaster part that doesn't work, and you just have to take hardware.
Totally. I have assembled my field completely incorrectly, as my team can tell you, so I know all about that.
Right. So again, those bars will be at 14 inches. It's not completely correct, but the game manuals will show you it, and we will answer what is supposed to be on there correctly. Do we have any other questions? We're sending around the mic. Colin, you're up.
Hi.
Where are you from, and say your name.
My name's Rishi. I'm from the Tech Tigers.
What are our World Championship representatives?
Okay. I have a couple questions about advancement. With the decrease in the amount of qualifiers, how many teams will advance from each qualifier to state?
That's a really great question. So I'm going to tell you that At a minimum, we're going to hold the same amount of teams that go to states. We are in discussions with our wonderful state championship event host partner, Mrs. Reedy, and with FIRST to see what we can do. Our overall goal is to get as many teams to states as possible. So if you take how many teams did you compete with at states last year? 36, okay? So 36 divided by 8, right? 32, and then 4, that will be distributed. If we can go up, we will, but right now we don't know. So you will see more teams advance than last year per event.
Okay, and also with the increased amount of teams going to the World Championship, are there any increases to the amount of teams advancing from Massachusetts?
That we unfortunately don't know yet. Can you answer this and take this call? Sorry, that is our satellite partner calling in, I think, with a question, so I'm going to let Colin take that. So with the 224 teams, we don't know the exact distribution. Here's what we're told. There are no out-of-state advancements this year. You can participate if the regions allow you to and have it, but you will not receive a qualifying slot if you go there and win one of their Inspire or their Winning Alliance captain. That is an official first rule. We anticipate right now, and this is why we're asking you to help us grow, that we will have 2 teams that qualify for states. However, we want to make state championship kind of the apex and the zenith for all of you guys that are here and really make that a special experience. Additionally, I'm wearing a BTi shirt, which Colin and a lot of our interns last year helped to put on. We are going to be doing a district championship for you at the Big E with all of the districts in New England. So stay tuned for that. Our tentative date is, I think, the first weekend of April. So in addition to our state championship, there will be a district-wide competition, and there is some discussions of some larger first events that I'm not at liberty to discuss yet. We don't know. When Deb and I have communication and official info and they've made a decision, we will relay that to you. But again, think about each of your qualifier tournaments as bigger, better, and a grander learning opportunity, a place to get to meet friends, future roommates, classmates, business partners, collaborators, partners in all aspects of life, okay? So Rishi, I'm sorry that I'm not able to answer your question beyond that, but some of this information we don't have yet, and we're trying to relay everything that we know so far. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So Springfield asked if you are allowed to carry more than 1 pixel in your robot, and the answer is yes. You are allowed 2 pixels. This is a really interesting number because remember, mosaics are 3 pixels, so you cannot complete a full mosaic in 1 run of your robot. You have to strategize, figure out what is already on your backdrop, figure out what your alliance partner is currently putting on your backdrop, and then you have to figure out what 2 pixels you want to carry with you. I think that a major part of this game, we saw this again in Relic Recovery, where teams would try to optimize what they were. Where teams would try to optimize what relics they were storing into those boxes kind of automatically, and I think that there's going to be teams figuring out some really interesting strategy as far as what's available to you, what your alliance partner has put there, and kind of figuring out what your ideal moves are based on this backdrop. Because remember, your mosaics can either be 3 of a single of the colored pixels, they can be 1 of each color of the colored pixels, and then they have to be surrounded by white pixels. So I think a lot of high-level play in this game is going to come down to trying to kind of build the perfect backdrop of the pattern that scores you the most points, and that's going to be really hard to do. But I think that 2 pixel limit definitely makes it a lot more interesting.
2 pixels, 1 drone, and you cannot share a drone with another team. Who's got a question? So a bunch of hands up. Okay, let's make sure that we get you guys. Okay. You line up right in front of the center if you have a question, and that way we'll just take them one by one.
Slightly.
Don't be shy, guys. This is your time.
A little high.
Hi, who are you?
Hi there.
What team are you from?
My name is Simon Huynh. I'm a new coach for the Clockwork Cardinal.
Yeah, Clockwork Cardinals.
the Newman School in Back Bay. I'm a new coach, but our team has been around for about 5 or 6 years. So a question for you would be, where do we get all the equipment for the state? Is there like a hub that like one can order all the equipment?
Sure. So we would go to handymark.com to do that, and we have some recommended partners to be able to order from. So why don't we have a conversation afterwards? If anyone else needs help in ordering parts for the season, welcome, and we will make sure we take care of you. That's our job between Deb and myself to support you, and our wonderful community members will jump in and help. And if anyone wants to, where are you from? Where's Cardinals from?
Oh, the Newman School in Back Bay, Boston.
In Back Bay. So if anyone is interested in helping a new rookie coach, maybe a great opportunity to help mentor. Okay, so
thank you.
Thank you. Let's pass this back. Hi, it's good to see you.
Hello. So I've got a question about the 3 alliance partners. So in the game manual, I didn't mention anything about that, like the game video, but you mentioned it earlier, that in order to increase the amount of people going to states, there would be 3 alliance partners for the game. How's that work?
So this is about elimination rounds. So the way that an FTC qualifier works is you have your qualifying rounds where you're basically paired with random teams against random teams. You go your round, you play, and then this year it is win-loss tie is your like ranking, basically. Your ranking is determined based on win-loss tie, and then your auto average is the tiebreaker if 2 teams have the same win-loss tie record. And based on that, the top 4 teams in that, from coming out of qualifying rounds, are going to be captains. They then get to pick a first pick team, and then it goes back around, and they get to pick a second pick team when you have 3 team alliances. And then we basically play a classic like bracket elimination round style, where you go head to head with another alliance, and then you go head to head with another alliance. It's best of 3 matches. It's really great. We hope to get a lot of teams into prelims this year. And that is one of the nice things about running these 24-team events, is the cutoff for having 3 team alliances is 21 teams. Last year we didn't have that, and a lot of our events were running with 2 team alliances, so you weren't swapping out during those best of 3 rounds.
So let's give a quick demonstration. So this is Alex from AJC Productions, right? So I'm the alliance captain right now, right? In my first round, I would like to invite Alex Spot onto our alliance, right? And he would say, thank you, you accept?
Thank you, I accept.
Great. We go around, okay, 1 through 4. Then we come back up to Alliance 1. I'll be Alliance 2 at this point. And I would say, we'd like to invite Colin Bott to our alliance. Colin, would you like to join our alliance?
Yes.
Thank you for not saying we graciously accept. Okay, so now we get to decide and declare. As the number 2, so we have to tell the referees what 2 robots are playing. So I'm going to say, Alex, you're awesome, but based on who I anticipate the matchup to be, I'm going to play you in our next match. You're going to sit. Colin and I, our teams are playing first. Okay? So we battle out. Both alliances have to swap one of their partners. So I'm going to say, we won that first match, so Colin, I want you to play with Alex in this next match. Okay? So, unfortunately, at first anything can happen. They have a little bit of bad luck, and they lose the match by 1 point. Tough luck. But they were close. They fought hard. Valiant warriors, right? So now, you guys huddle up. We got to make a decision. This is our last match. Now, we can choose, because all 3 of us have played, any of us can go in. But you have to, by the end of the second match, all 3 partners will have to have been played. Does that make sense? So, what do you guys think?
Another alliance on the opposing side. It's I'm going to put against Team 1 on the opposing alliance. They're not running one. I think they're running Team 2.
All right, Alex, we got this, right? Thank you. All right, does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, and again, it doesn't necessarily change the number of teams that get to go to states. That's just determined by how many slots that we have total. What it does is you guys have to pay very careful attention to the advancement criteria. By increasing the number of teams that get to go to states, get to go play in the elimination tournament and at any qualifying tournament, some of those awards that are further down, Inspire 2, Alliance captain winning finalist pick might be those advancing. Maybe it is those that are in other judged awards now become those that get promoted to states. So you have different qualifying opportunities by having more teams at the events but less events. And again, round 1 starts early in December, so you guys got to go to work. Hi, what's your name and what team are you from?
My name's Sahil, I'm from the Laser Robotics.
I'm sorry, can you say that one more time?
My name's Sahil, I'm from the Laser Robotics.
Oh, hi. So, you have a question for us?
Can both alliance partners shoot the airplane at the same time, or they have to be at different times?
As far as I'm aware, yes. There's no limit on 2 alliance partners shooting their drones at the same time. You just have to do it during endgame. You're only allowed to do it once, and it has to fly over that rigging. But I can definitely see a scenario where both of those alliance partners are climbing. They're both trying to shoot at the same time. I don't think that there's any kind of one has to go and then the other.
The other thing too, because I know some teams are, the wheels are turning, like, can we use one drone to shoot down another team's drone? I don't know the answer yet. We're going to wait for the GDC to rule on that. So what happens if the drones collide in midair? No idea. You guys should practice to figure it out. But that also means you guys might not want to launch your drone simultaneously with your alliance partner if you think they might collide, right? So just keep that in mind. Hi, what's your name and what team are you from?
I'm Rick, and I'm from the Technomaniacs.
Hi, Rick.
I was wondering if there was a tolerance for the height limiting bar on either side, because I know in Frank Fenton it's like a plus or minus 5 inches. So is that the same case here?
There is a tolerance, and as with most things, it is in Game Manual 2. So I'm going to leave that to you guys to look up. I can tell you, but I want you to look up all the tolerances. And that's your homework for all of you guys. Make sure you know the tolerances. Design your robots such that they are within tolerance. So I would recommend you start in the middle, at the low end, and at the high end, because if it's within spec at any of our qualifier or our state championship tournaments, and the referees say it's in spec, we're going to leave it. But you guys have to design it as Woody Flowers and Andy Baker and others have said on the planning committee too. It is part of the design challenge to understand the tolerances of the game specifications. Thank you.
Also, just to clarify on that a little bit, the 5-inch tolerance that I believe you're referencing from Frank Frenzy was for moving a game element and for like causing changes to the field that weren't allowed was like the basically the ruling it was made illegal under. There's sometimes a tolerance for like moving a game element or a tolerance for what's considered like, you know, I think in this game there's probably a listed tolerance for what's considered like placed on the spike mark. I don't know what it is. It might be on the tape. It might be within a certain radius of the spike mark. I don't know. But there's oftentimes one tolerance for you placing game elements and then one tolerance for the field and the actual like tolerance for the manufactured parts that Andy Martin makes. And those aren't often the same exact tolerance. They're only 2 different numbers.
Next question.
I'm Clara, and I'm from Soli Deo Gloria.
Hi, Clara.
Are you allowed to prop open the stage door and like keep it open?
That is a good question, because I think there's a rule against grasping it. There's a rule against preventing your opponents from getting through it.
Correct.
I don't know if there's a rule about like just having some part of your robot that just statically is pushing it open without grasping. There is a rule against leaving anything on the field, like disconnecting anything from your robot, so you couldn't like make something that's designed to like prop it up and then just like let go of it and leave it on the field. That wouldn't be allowed. So I don't really know where that would come into play if you can't do that. But yeah, I don't know. That's probably a good Q&A forum question once that opens up.
We encourage you to ask that, Clara. That's a really great question. So I was fielding questions from our other 2 sites, so they say they're good. Hi, sir. How are you?
Hi, I'm Ray Salemi. I'm from RoboData and our 3 teams. As someone who owns piles of floor tiles, how do the existing floor tiles relate to this game? Can I just create an 11 by 9 square and 11 foot 9 inch square?
6 by 6 square, 12 by 12 foot by 12 feet, right? Yep. You can use the existing tiles, and from Andy Mark right now, the statement from Andy Baker is some of the tiles that are shipping will be of the old spec, some will be new, and this year it's only up to you guys to decide whether or not you want to change, but you can use last year's tiles.
generation so I can use those and these walls, and I'm good.
You should be well within tolerance. I was helping build this field, and it's the amount of kind of like squish you have on the tiles. You should be able to build it fine. I will use this as an opportunity to shamelessly plug the new vision portal that FTC has in FTC Docs, because as you'll see, there are a ton of April tags on this field. I was at Worlds last year where these new field tiles kind of made their debut on the first day, and it was somewhat utter chaos as teams tried to rewrite their autos to work with tiles that were an eighth of an inch smaller than they normally are, and the teams that were still working were the teams that didn't just use odometry or dead reckoning. They weren't like going for a certain number of encoder ticks, but were actually resetting where their robot thought it was using methods like April tags. The new Vision Portal library and having April tags for FTC integrated into the FTC SDK is a huge leap forward in terms of what your team can accomplish right out of the gate for localization and knowing where you are. April tags are really easy to use. It's like, I don't know, 5 lines of code to create a vision portal, and then you can just call a function that will give you your X, Y, Z, roll, pitch, yaw, and like bearing and everything from the April tag. It's so nice, and I heavily encourage people to use them, because with things like this, where you might be off by a little bit of tolerance, you know that the April tags are always going to be in the same location relative to the backdrop. So if you're measuring where you are, where you're placing a pixel on the backdrop relative to where your robot started, you're likely to be more off than if you're measuring based on the April tag that you're seeing that is attached to the backdrop in the same place every time.
I'm Jerry from the Laser Robotics, and I had a question about how does intaking the drone work? So is it just like you put it on the field and the robot has to pick it up for itself, or can you just load it on the robot?
2 ways.
You are allowed to preload it at the start of the game, kind of like how you're preloading pixels into your robot, so you can have it preloaded and it starts in your robot, and you just like have a mechanism that you just load it before you even go to the field, and it's in your robot ready to fire. You can also, if you want, place it. The human player would place it like they would a pixel into these wings, and then there's kind of no specific given way of picking them up. It's just what you design if you want to do that, and you don't want to preload your drone, whatever mechanism you come up with.
Colin, what is the maximum number of pixels that you can put in the wings at any given time? 6. Okay? Your human player is allowed to drop 6 pixels in the wing. Next question.
I'm Rahul Parikh. I'm from the Andover Robotics Club, Arc Lightning 4410. So if you... Wait.
It's okay, take your time. I like your hat.
Thanks. I don't know what yours now.
Looks better on you, my friend.
I forgot my question.
It's okay, you wanted to think about it, come back and just let him, we'll get to your question. That's all right, no worries.
I'm Ethan from 5436 Olympic College of Native Robotics. I have 2 questions. One is, if you fire the drone game limit, and so the human player can pick that up, right? Like put that on the field again?
I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to be honest, the drone rules are a little bit unclear. They're written like pretty weirdly. It's super unclear as to whether you are kind of loading multiple drones, whether you're like placing them in. As best as I can tell, what my guess is, this is a kind of completely subjective guess, is that it's just one drone that you have that you can preload or put in, and that there's a small chance they'll let you grab it, but I don't think it's likely. I think you just kind of get one chance to fire it. That's probably going to be a Q&A question as soon as the Q&A opens.
And also, what in the rules does it say about throwing the tiles?
Don't do it.
Can what if you like throw them from where the game limits are placed into the, like, I don't know what to call that. Okay.
For those of you unfamiliar with Game Manual 1, there is every single year the line launching of game elements is prohibited unless explicitly made legal by a rule in Game Manual 2. Spoiler alert, there is not a rule that makes throwing the pixels illegal in Game Manual 2.
Game Manual 2 also explicitly says that launching of pixels from game elements, either through air or water, is legal.
Can I make the water
It's
throwing
in
really
the game
cold?
manual. I'm not making this up. Like, we read it. All right, Rob, are you ready?
I'm back. I got my question. So, if When let's say paper airplane lands, right? Is it scored where it hits the ground or where it stops?
Good question. As with other games, the field is scored at rest. So, you're going to have to read the definition. Thank you, Colin. You're awesome. You're going to have to read the definitions for completely in, partially in, right, of where it crosses. So, again, scored at rest. If it hits here and slides forward here, would I count this for maximum points in your opinion? If I slide across this line, where do we count?
Tighten up a little bit.
It's in the rules, but I think you probably ascertain whether you get the higher scoring or the lower scoring one. It's in both zones. Okay? And I'm not trying to be difficult. Our job as referees is to try to educate you, help you guys have fun and play within the rules. Keep on asking questions. We are going to try to see if we can help support you with some of your individual questions, but a big thing here is to make sure that we go and push you guys to the Q&A and read the official. So if you have additional questions, we're going to start. We are out of time here. We're going to line up on this side of the field, one by one for the teams that want to come up. If you guys have a rocket and would like to go with Keith and Sean. Keith, Sean, can you guys stand up? They're going to be going out into the right, maybe, for the rocket launches. Thank you guys so much for Weston Media Center and all of you joining us for Satellite Kickoffs. That's a wrap.